Hey everybody. Today I wanted to share with you 3 of the biggest mistakes I made back when I was trying to ace the LSAT. It took a while before I was willing to admit this, but it actually took me a full year before I was able to master the LSAT and score a 175. And so I made a list of all the various mistakes I made back when I was studying, and it's a long one. So it would take too long to go through all of those with you now, but I'm pulling out the 3 biggest ones I can think of to share with you all in the hopes that it helps you avoid making some of the same mistakes that I did. The number 3 biggest mistake is not using the right books in exams. I was trying to save money on books. I would go to the library, I would buy books used on sites like Craigslist, and I actually considered not getting 5 of the newest individual exams because they were $8 each, and it made no sense to me. Why spend $8 on a single exam when I could get a book of 10 exams for $20? But $40 on exams, 5 exams at $8 each, that's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing. I spent way too long obsessing over getting these books when I should have just gotten them and gotten down to business. A $40 investment, those 5 exams, could pay off huge. If there's a game or a question or some insight I glean from those 500 LSAT questions, that gets me even 1 more point on the LSAT, that's well worth a $40 investment. So I was definitely wasting my time as I hemmed and hawed over whether to get yet another book of exams. I ultimately did end up getting every single exam ever released, and I'm glad I did. But don't make the same mistake I did. Get your hands on a set of exams if you think it will help you. Even if it's a bit more than you want to spend, any LSAT resource you get will pay off big time, so it's well worth the investment. The number 2 biggest mistake I made was I did not review properly. I would just take exam after exam, measuring my results, being happy if the exam went well, being sad if it didn't go well, and then I would move on to the next one. And I must have worked through dozens of exams in this very way, failing to properly review them. But that's a huge mistake because the review is where the real value comes from. I must have wasted like 30 or 40 exams just taking them timed and then measuring my results. I was obsessive. I had spreadsheets and lists and graphs and charts, trying to track it all, looking for some sort of trend, when in reality, I should have just been focusing on everything I got wrong and had difficulty with, engaging in my detailed review process for every single question that ever gave me trouble. So definitely review properly. Failing to review is one of the biggest mistakes I see my students make also, and so whenever I come across someone, that's one of the first questions I ask them is, what does your review process look like? And finally, the number 1 biggest mistake, and this ties in a bit to the previous one, is not having a detailed plan of attack. Taking exam after exam is a complete waste of your time. The value in doing practice problems is not simply to measure where you stand, it's to learn from your mistakes. And aside from just going through exams, you also want to learn the fundamentals first. Get your foundation, get your accuracy down, then focus on pacing with individual timed sections, and finally, pull it all together with full-length 5-section exams. I was jumping to the full-length exams first because I kept wanting to measure myself, when in reality, I should have dialed it back a bit and gone through step by step from the ground up, learning the basics of each game type, each logical reasoning question type, learning the basics of properly reading passages and getting my note-taking system down before just churning and burning through exam after exam after exam. So those are the biggest mistakes I can think of that I made back when I was studying. Now, I've got something for you all because I want to help you avoid making those same mistakes that I did. So I've got some free week-by-week study plans on my website for all different periods of study from 1 month through 7 months. And then if you're looking for something even more detailed, I've got day-by-day study plans that lay out in excruciating detail exactly what to do every single day of your entire LSAT study period. So I'll tell you what books to read, what page numbers and chapters to use, which prep test problems to complete, the exact order in which to do everything, so that you can work systematically through all of the newest exams, but also build your foundation first at the same time. I'm including links in the description for this episode if you'd like to find out more. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and please feel free to email me personally at lsatunplugged@gmail.com with any questions. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.